What's up, guys? Hope y'all smooth out there. Start off with a deep breath real quick, as we do. All right. Hope you guys took a breath with me. If not, take a moment to do so. Basically, in this video, I know a lot of my friends and just people around me my age are chasing jobs, because they got bills to pay. And I completely understand that, right? We all have bills to pay. We all want some extra money in our pockets. But this stuff is so short term, right? Obviously, you need a roof over your head, but you don't need everything right now, right? So basically, what I'm thinking is I've been seeing this thing go around where people are so focused on getting a job just to pay the bills, right? And that's understandable, but I want us to take a step back, right? Because COVID, for example, right? Let's just use that. COVID knocked out tens of thousands of jobs across the nation just because they were super replaceable, because the industries weren't available at the moment because people couldn't go outside, right? But the people who were able to bounce back quicker from that were people who had skills in a certain industry, people who had experience in the industry, and people who had careers, right? You didn't hear as much about people getting fired from their career position as opposed to the barista or the Starbucks or the lower entry-level jobs, right? So to prevent you guys from losing the job that you tried so hard to get, right, go to college. Get a college degree in something that will benefit you in the long run in an industry that is recession proof, right? For example, healthcare. A lot of the nurses during COVID, right, obviously got paid, they got more hours because there was a lot of sick people in the hospitals, obviously. And this is a very high stress, high demanding job, don't get me wrong. But the point I'm making is, if you're just looking for a job, right, that job, just as quickly as you got it, can be taken away from you, right? So it takes some time to get to where you really want to be in a position where you can't get it snatched from you, right? So this requires education up front. This requires, career planning, right? This requires people around you who are on the same mindset, right? If you only hang out with people who, work, minimum wage jobs, right? You're not going to be inspired. You're not going to feel that same drive to want to get up and get a career position in some office or some job that is, more prestigious and will, take you further in life, right? And on that same note, I understand not everybody has that same aspiration. Not everybody has the same patience or willingness to, be in a longevity position or a long career, right? But, if you find yourself in a situation where you're struggling, right, financially, these are the type of things that you need to think about before you, jump the gun and decide, hey, okay, that's not for me, right? That's another thing too. Like, I think a lot of people say school isn't for them, which I understand. School can't be for everybody, right? But if school is not for you, that doesn't mean that you can't, aim for, some sort of success, right? If you still want to, live a healthy, long life where you're not struggling or worried about where your next meal is going to come, right? So that's when, there's alternate routes you got to take, right? When it comes to school, if school's not for you, or if trade school is not for you, if, career path isn't for you or whatever, like the trajectory is that you guys feel that you're on, I want you guys to look at the alternative routes and, talk to people who have done the alternative routes, right? And nowadays, the big one is social media, right? I don't want to go to school. I could just post on TikTok and Instagram, right? And, I'll get paid from ad deals and all that, blah, blah, blah. But what you guys don't realize is a lot of these people that you see that are getting paid from ads, they are like a small percentage of people, right? You might see them a lot more often because, they're getting pushed by multiple different brands. And you're like, I could do that. And you can. But sit down and ask these people how they actually got to that point, right? They had to sacrifice. They had to post every day. They had to, make decisions in their life that must have been difficult, right? To get to that point, right? They had to take extra time out. They had to quit their job, right? Maybe that's what's maybe that's what's holding you back, right? Your actual job, your day-to-day, your 9-to-5 job. And if you want to be a content creator, you know, if you want to quit your job to do that, you know, you got to buy some gear, you got to know how to edit, right? These are all things that, you know, come into play. And not only that, but you have to remain consistent and drop quality content, right, on top of that stuff. So this is just some things to think about, right? Because we're in such a point of time where everyone's looking for a job, as opposed to, I don't hear people as much, you know, going to med school, or, you know, trying to become a lawyer. You know, I have friends who are doing both of those things, right? And that's great. And, you know, I don't hear them complaining about like, oh, when I'm out of med school, I'm worried about where I'm going to get placed. Or when I'm out of law school, I'm worried about where I'm going to get placed. Because these jobs require a lot of, you know, forethought. These jobs require a lot of experience, right? So once you put in that work and that effort, you know, ahead of time, then your thoughts of like, oh, I need to pay the bills, oh, I need a quick job so I could just do this, or I need to start DoorDashing so I could, you know, get some food on my table. You know, those thoughts don't even exist, right? So this is for you guys and girls. If you're in your early or late teens, you know, you're about to finish high school, or you're in college right now, and maybe you're studying music or art or whatever, you know, really think about where those degrees are going to get you, right? And I know that's you're passionate about music, but you can get a business degree and work at a music label, right? You don't need to be an artist, or you don't need to necessarily be the one creating the art. If that's your goal, then you should do that. But if you're just interested in music as a whole, then, you know, you want, and you still want, you know, to be successful financially, these are different options that you guys should look into, right? So I hope this helped someone out there. I know it would have helped me a lot if I heard someone like this in high school, for example, because I love music. I wanted to be a sound engineer, right? And I have homies now who are sound engineers, and they're struggling because you can mix and master your own music, right? You don't need to go to an engineer to mix your music. And now there's probably websites online, like AI websites, where you just upload tracks, vocal tracks, and then the instrumental, and they'll mix and master your vocals onto the beat, right? So it's just like doing some research, right, in the industries, and finding out if this job will even be here in 5-10 years, right? And technology is moving so fast nowadays, where if you're not ahead of it, then your job can get snatched from you, even if you went to college for it, right? So you can go to college to be an audio engineer, which is almost what I did, and I would have been struggling right now, right? I would have been looking at other stuff to do to pay the bills, and, you know, I would have been still passionate about audio engineering, but that would not have been a successful route for me. And statistically speaking, right, I know, you know, we all want to have the best outlook on life, and, you know, obviously if you want something, you know, you should aim for it. But my thing is, statistically speaking, how many audio engineers out there are making 6 figures compared to the ones that are struggling? How many musicians are out there making 6 figures, 7 figures? How many $1 million artists are there compared to the artists who are making $0, right? So I'm not saying it's impossible. Nothing's impossible. But the whole point I'm trying to make is, you know, if there's something that you want to reach, you should definitely reach it and try to do it. But also take a step back and look at people who have failed, people who have succeeded, and then compare the two, and then obviously follow the people who have succeeded. And if you keep that in mind, hopefully that gets you somewhere. I'll end it right there. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.